we're back to Keeping It Real. Thanks very much for sticking with us. I have with me Ieden Wall. Ieden,
hey man,
welcome.
how's it going?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to have you on the show.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
I'm all excited.
Are you?
To talk about sales because you just had Roman on, and as the viewers could see, he's a very, very outside the box thinker, and he mentioned that I did produce his first TV show, and he has the components of a visionary, and that's what we're all about here at ALLTalkTV. You can, we'll get a chance to talk about this in the next few minutes, but it's about thinking outside the box and seeing the things that the average person can't see. So it's not about where we are now, it's about where we're going to be in 10 years from now, in 20 years from now. Now, how many people, are actually thinking a decade or two ahead? Not too many. You are one of them. And that's one of the reasons that I chose to be here at ALLTalkTV.com.
Well, we're happy to have you with us, Ieden.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun here. So, and I just wanted to propose too, in the future, I think that we should have Roman, myself, and you together in a round table to discuss the real intricacies of salesmanship, because a good salesperson is inspired by another good salesperson, and we kind of feed off of each other. It's kind of like a an osmosis kind of situation.
So tell me, what do you think it takes to be a good salesperson?
Well, Dave, that's a good, it's a really interesting question. I'll say this, it's like anything in life: dedication, determination, commitment, knowledge can allow somebody who is deficient in an area to excel in that area. So I say anybody can be a good salesperson if they work hard enough, but to be, I guess you would say, a thoroughbred, one of those very elite people that, you know what I mean? Just
a closer like you.
A closer, somebody who doesn't, it's second nature to. I think it's a question of just loving people. Now, people often talk about the sales process, and they talk about the ability to read the customer, to nurture the relationship, to to understand the customer's needs. But I'm telling you that this is actually an extremely simple thing, sales, but it's very deceptive. If you love people and you're sincere, the customer develops an affinity for you, and the connection is built. It's very hard for a client or a customer to say no to somebody they like. And I know that sounds like an oversimplification, but it's something that is often overlooked. So, before you cram yourself with all this sales knowledge, and we can go into that in a minute, because I've given seminars and I do, teach and mentor people, but be sincere. Be sincere about the relationship.
Well, that's true. I agree with that 100%. But does it not also take a lot of discipline? Because I've spent years in sales myself, and the one thing that we always, when we get busy and we've got deals on the go and we're going to close some deals, we stop the prospecting. But if we had the discipline to spend an hour a day, no matter what, prospecting, we would probably be much more successful. True or false?
Absolutely true. And as you discussed in length with Roman, is that definitely if you have the discipline to nurture the relationships and work the leads, and I think the word nurture is really, really paramount here. Nurture means, as Roman pointed out, not forgetting about context you had a year or two ago, which we have a tendency, it's a human inclination to forget about those in the past and move forward, when sometimes we leave like gems along the road. So yeah, you're right, discipline's a big part of it. What I'm saying to you though is somebody who has discipline without the basic ingredient of sincerity is just blowing in the wind. And that's really my point to you. I'm not trying to underestimate discipline. Discipline is the secret to life. And with Roman, you're talking about one of the hardest working real estate people in probably the country. So that's the secret to his success. And yeah, hard work does it. But I'm saying to you that start with sincerity. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Okay, agreed. That is a very key requirement. And you are no doubt very sincere. I've seen you with people. Okay, Ieden, why ALLTalkTV? I mean, you've been in the TV business as well as I know you've had experience working in sales for a leasing company, but you got into TV. You're also a very creative person, I should tell.
Multi-dimensional, as you always say.
So So, but why? What do you love about TV, and why did you come to ALLTalkTV?
Well, you know, since I was very, very young, I mean, just 3, 4, 5, 6, I was always walking around with my tape recorder, and I loved talking to people. And so
walked around with a tape recorder.
Yeah, my mom still tells.
So you were interviewing.
My mom tells.
You're a natural host.
Yeah,
you were interviewing your mother and stuff like that.
My mom tells these stories of me walking around with my little tape recorder, and whoever would be game to be interviewed by me. It took a lot of courage, and I love talking to people, and it's really as simple as that. And then, you know, around 14 to 15 in high school, I started the first live after-school talk show at Northern Secondary, and all the biggest celebrities in Canada were coming to my show, just like you're doing right here.
So you're a natural talk show host as well.
Just like you're doing right here, but we didn't have this amazing technology available to us back then. But I always loved the visual image. So, and then I loved telling stories as well. So I started to do documentaries, and I went into the reality comedy genre, which we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just cut to ALLTalkTV.com, because, you know, I think that's the paramount, you know, thing, is that technology is here. And, you know, ALLTalkTV is it's really the only production company that is doing traveling on location, 3-camera HD productions. And I got to tell you something, in years past, if somebody wanted a 3-camera live production, they'd be paying between $50,000 and $100,000, because they'd have to get a TV crew to come in and do it. So now what ALLTalkTV does is we allow people to do on location 3-camera shoots for a fraction, you know, for a consumer price. And as Roman said, so video technology is changing so rapidly, and ALLTalkTV is one of a kind for that reason.
So how can small business people, corporations, and even consumers take advantage of this technology to help them with their business or with some other element of their life?
Well, I mean, again, as Roman alluded to, you'll find scarcely a website that doesn't incorporate some video component into their marketing. So we know that video is an intrinsic component of every website. The problem in the past was they had to go to videographers, you know, and they would take all, you know, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200 hours to put it all together. And what we have done is we have allowed them to jump right into a TV set.
Right. With
3 cameras. Now, let's talk about why 3 cameras are so important, just for those who might not be into production. TV is all about reactions, correct? Life is all about reactions. So let's, for example, I know we did a wedding a few weeks ago. We're revolutionizing weddings with our technology here at ALLTalkTV, because in the past, the videographer would be right on the bride and the groom.
Right.
When the most important moment is the other shot of the mother and father who spent their whole life raising these kids. So we help people to capture the live, priceless moments in their entirety, which 3 cameras, which you need 3 or 4 cameras to do, you can't do with 1 camera.
I agree, and you know, I've seen other productions too. I was online a couple of days ago, and I was watching a shoot of it was an evening with David Grossman, not me, an Israeli author, and I was watching it, and it looked pretty good. But when the audience was asking questions, they didn't capture the audience at all. Like what? And it looked to me like there were probably 3 cameras, but nobody was stepping outside of their comfort zone just a little bit to turn the camera. What does the audience look like? What does the room look like? Why aren't we seeing the person who's asking the question?
Yeah. So you pillar another pivotal point, is that it's not good enough just to have a 3-camera on-location production crew. Now you need to have a competent production staff who's manning the equipment. So we bring all of this to the table for a client, a corporate client, or even a consumer, for a consumer price. So that's pretty revolutionary. I don't think there's anybody doing that in Toronto. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Not well. I'm not going to tell anybody who might. No, I'm just kidding. It's a
trying to pat you on the back.
It's an emerging business. I mean, there are a few companies who are doing it. I don't think any of them are doing it quite the way we do it here.
For sure, for sure.
And so it's great to have you on board. Is there anything else you want to tell people about what we offer? Or
well, I'll just say this because you know that now we are aggressively going into the high-end consumer market, and I'll just say this is that. Consumer market is a phrase that is often misinterpreted. So consumer market could mean anything from a conference, an anniversary party, a graduation, a wedding, and even a funeral. As delicate as that is, people want these memories and these moments captured. Right. But like you said, we don't want to miss the entire scope of the event. So we have 3 cameras.
Right. Okay. Terrific.
So that's
not to mention the live broadcast component, which is sometimes a little bit. Some people still have trouble with that. And my point of view is always that raw. It can be raw, but it's live and it's real. And sometimes you might fall down.
Yeah.
And you have to tie your shoelaces.
That's right.
That's part of life.
That's right. And the live broadcast now makes it so dynamic because the people that couldn't take the time to drive across town or drive across Ontario, or fly into Canada can now watch it on the internet. So you're right. It ties us all in together, and it's wonderful. And it's really groundbreaking what you're doing here, and I'm very happy to be part of it.
Thanks very much, Ieden. Well, I told Marty York, who we did the sports show for, because we did it in a bar, and they were drinking while they were doing the show, which is also something you don't ever see because, on regular, cable TV, you're not allowed to drink. I said, I said, let him drink. I don't care if he falls into the table as long as he gets back up again.
This was said to me to be the finest whiskey in the business.
Which is another story. But, okay, so thank you so much, Ieden. We're going to talk some more with Ieden. After this break about his Dream Chaser project. You're going to see a little bit more of Ieden's creative side, something that he feels very passionate about. So hang in there. We'll be right back.